And joining us now to talk about an opera singer who is not your typical opera singer is Eugenia Zuckerman. Good morning, Eugenia.
Good morning, Charles.
Is that fair to say that Wilbur Pauley is not your typical opera singer?
He certainly is not. He says he didn't even know what an opera was until he was in one. He thought it was a bunch of people in costumes standing still on a stage singing in languages that are incomprehensible to Americans.
Well, how do you get from that point then to opera stardom?
He started singing in choirs, and he certainly didn't expect any kind of career to happen, but he just took whatever came along, including odd jobs. He had a stint as a warehouse worker on the Hudson, heaving heavy boxes from dawn until dusk, until, as he says, the New York Philharmonic offered him a Verdi Requiem, and it was time to leave the warehouse. Wilbur Pauley seems to turn everything he does into his advantage. And I think he'll just successfully keep doing whatever serendipitously comes his way. One summer, Wilbur Pauley worked as a bicycle messenger. It's still his favorite way to get to work. On this day, Wilbur Pauley's work is taking him to the Lyric Opera of Chicago. Oddly enough, the punishment of city potholes may have prepared him for his current career.
I read the letter, but then Figaro came in and scared it out of me.
My whole career has been completely accidental. Opera was an accident when it happened.
I'm sorry.
My starting a career as a singer was an accident.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't.
Happy fortune that I've happened to blunder into doing something that I like to do, and that it keeps turning into something else that I like to do.
Me, you, I. What can I do?
This opera, The Ghost of Versailles by John Corigliano, has been one of the major successes of the past few seasons.
What's your good for? Polish my boots!
Wilbur Pauley has the role of Wilhelm, a servant to a not-so-nice master. But as Wilhelm, this bass singer doesn't get to sing. It's a straight acting role. So you had no urge to burst into song as Wilhelm?
Oh, I could, but Mr. Corigliano might have something to say about that. I like the fact that there's somebody on stage who's not singing. It's kind of, yeah, that's my job. It's very physical. I like doing physical things on stage, and once you get into that, you're so in character that you don't realize that what you're doing is being seen by an audience of 3,500 people.
Wilbur is a grand character on stage. You can take any character and make it live, and when he walks on the stage, every eye is on him.
Ardis Krainik is the general director of the Lyric Opera of Chicago.
He really is one of those people who attracts your attention on stage.
Let me be the first to congratulate you.
As he demonstrated in the Lyric Opera's production of William Bolcom's McTeague.
You have won $5,000 in gold.
So why is it that you don't have to practice very much? What is it about the bass voice?
Well, bass voice is, we sing where we speak. The bass voice is, it's a very short line between this, and it's the same note, and that's where I'm speaking as well. With sopranos, it's they're speaking in this way. All of a sudden, they're singing up here. They have to warm up.
He grew up in Beaver, Pennsylvania. He was always tall for his age, and he always had a low voice for his age. He didn't always want to be a professional singer.
I wanted to be a teacher, and my desire to be a teacher coincided with our country's pulling funding away from music education programs and putting it into more important things like sports. And I wound up falling back on a performing career.
I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I overlooked before I met my sweetie.
4 years ago, he founded the group Hudson Shad. The singers met in the choir of St. Thomas Church in Manhattan.
No need explaining, the one remaining is someone that I adore.
Wilbur Pauley trained in choral work at the Westminster Choir College, and ensemble singing still gives him the greatest satisfaction.
Why don't everybody take 5 minutes, pull it together, and then we'll go on.
Pat Birch is our choreographer, director, and really we would be 5 guys in choir robes if it wasn't for Pat. She's taken us individually as, you know, the individual guys that we are, and put that into a cohesive whole while retaining the individuality and keeping the sense of fun about it.
Just can't get my pull myself together. I'm weary all the time.
Hudson Shad patterns itself after a German group, the Comedian Harmonists, that was popular during the late 20s and 30s. Last summer, Hudson Shad performed in Germany for the first time. The tour was a sellout.
Our German is very good and very clear, and we've really worked so that our accent is almost non-existent. They just can't believe that we're Americans singing this stuff. Everybody likes this music, and in Germany, this music is a national treasure. Everybody knows Wochenend und Sonnenschein und dann mit dir, which for us is happy days are here again. But the Germans don't even know that it's an American song.
In 1935, the Comedian Harmonists were forced by the Nazis to disband because 3 of its members were Jewish. Today, the interest in the Comedian Harmonists is so great in Germany that Hudson Shad is involved in a documentary about the group. But Wilbur Pauley still spends most of his time on the road, alone. He was in Houston for the Houston Grand Opera's production of 4 Saints in 3 Acts, directed by Robert Wilson. The opera was written by Virgil Thompson and Gertrude Stein more than 60 years ago, and it's as enigmatic today as it was then.
4 saints born in separate places.
It's a perfect opera for this enigmatic bass singer.
4 saints, an opera in 3 acts.
It's hard to categorize Wilbur Pauley. He wouldn't have it any other way. But on the subject of his endless fascination with music, Wilbur Pauley is very clear.
It's a never-ending detective story. You just keep turning the pages because you can't put it down. But it's a book that you're never going to finish in your lifetime. So you just, it's like speed reading something that you're never going to finish.
Saint Teresa as a young girl being